Hello again, my name is Ernest. Let's settle for the details now, and we begin with our very first story where the Finance Minister, Deputy Finance Minister Manu says government is working hard to restore confidence in the Ghanaian economy following the downgrading of the creditworthiness of the country to junk status. Well, following the incident, the Deputy Minister who spoke on the business edition of PM Express said government is working to restore confidence in the economy. She spoke last night.
If you would recollect, when we took our budget to Parliament, the 2022 budget to Parliament in November, we had a clear understanding of what we really wanted to do. After the adverse impact of COVID-19, we sought out to build a sustainable entrepreneurship nation and also to focus on debt sustainability and increased growth. And as a result of that, we came up with some aggressive targets for our revenues. We're hoping to raise revenues to the tune of about 100 billion. And also we estimated some expenditures that we believe will help kickstart the economy and result in some positive growth for us. And that was also to the tune of about 137 billion Ghana cedis. And overall, you saw that we also worked to make sure that we reduce our deficit from the 11.4% in 2021 to about 7.4% in 2022. And so we were hoping that with all this, we were going to get ourselves out of some of the adverse impact of the COVID-19. And then what happened in Parliament when we went to Parliament, you saw how we deferred some of our important revenue measures that we believe were going to help us raise some revenues to focus on our development agenda. And as a result of the deferment of the passage of some of these things or some of these revenue measures, it's undermined the credibility of our budget. And that is when we started seeing the credit downgrading, because clearly if a major revenue measure like the e-levy, we were having problems with its passage, then clearly it's in a way undermining your budget. And so that kickstarted the revenue, the downgrade of in the credit ratings. And I must say that has really affected us and has affected our confidence within on the global front and domestically as well. And so that has also affected our cedi, the strength of our cedi. Truly, George, I must say that the dollar has gained. When you compare the dollar to the pound and to the euro, clearly you see that the dollar has made some gains. Even the pound has depreciated against the dollar, and so is the euro. But that notwithstanding, some has to do with how we handled our revenue measures initially. But I must say that even as we have passed some of these measures, we are hoping that quickly we'll put ourselves together and work very hard to pursue the policies that we are pursuing.
Let's do some more on this. We're speaking to CEO of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce, Mark Bedu-Abuaji. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on Newsdesk. So you had the Deputy Finance Minister there say that they're working to restore confidence in the economy following the downgrade by Fitch to junk status. And this is the second by the Global Rating Agency. What do you make of that move by government? Is her response, inspiring confidence in any way? Mr. Abuaji, you'd have to unmute your device.
I hope it's better.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear now.
Okay, so let me say good morning to you and good morning to your viewers. I think that we still have a long way to go, because whatever policies the government might have put in place is not having the positive impact we are expecting as at now. As I speak to you, inflation is still going up, even though the rate of increase has reduced. The cedi is depreciating rapidly. And then also, if you look at the Eurobond market, we have been downgraded. S&P downgraded us, I think, about a week or so. And then this week we had a downgrade from Fitch, which means that the impact is not being felt. So the businesses are still suffering. So whatever the government said they might have done, let me be frank with you, is yet to be felt within the business circles. Things are getting worse by the day, even though we are hopeful that by the first quarter, things will turn around and the economy will do better. But for now, I don't think the business environment is good for.
Give us a fair idea of what the impact has been, and I'm talking about the depreciation of the cedi on your business in the previous quarter, the first 2 quarters of the year.
Well, it's been a huge negative impact on businesses. Largely, our economy is import dependent. We can't take that fact away. Until we change the structure of the economy, we'll be experiencing this. Most of our members, even those who are in the manufacturing industry, some import raw materials from other parts of the world, and those who are importing finished goods also need a dollar to do that. So when the dollar depreciates, invariably you need more of the cedis to get at least the same quantity of goods or the same amount of dollars that you need. And this has actually depleted the capital of most of the businesses. So now either you are importing less or you are not importing at all. Or if you want to match up whatever you were doing previously, then you need to go for a loan. And interest rates are also very high, given the fact that policy rates have gone up. So the impact is that businesses are suffering from this depreciation. And this is obvious from the performance of businesses in the first half and also in the last quarter. We realize that most businesses are just keeping in. They are just adopting survival measures to ensure that at least they keep their customers and also they keep their labor force. I mean, it's not good for a country to have its currency depreciating.
And the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Mr. Boaje, actually did raise this issue of the depreciation, and they actually have fears that going into the last quarter, as we prepare for Christmas sales, the situation might worsen. I'm wondering if you, as an organization, you are engaging the Bank of Ghana, for instance, to help in the supply of dollars, because I mean, a similar arrangement was made for the BDCs when they needed to get the dollars to trade on the international market. Are you doing anything of the sort to help your members?
Yes, we have engaged the governor on a number of issues, but let us put the situation in context. How do we get the dollar or the foreign exchange? We can get it when we export. Now, we don't export that much. The other way is also for us as a country to borrow from the euro market. The door virtually has been closed on us. So we are not exporting, so we are not getting the revenue that we expected to get. We are also not being able to borrow from the euro market. So the dollar virtually the supply is lower as compared to the demand for the dollar. We were hopeful that the IMF money will come in on time, but from the minister's statement, means we have to wait for 4 or 6 months before that money comes in. So we are afraid about what is going to happen within the next 4 or 5 months, getting close to Christmas, where there is more demand for the dollar. And simple economics, when demand exceeds supply, the prices are likely to go up. That is what we are experiencing. I don't know how the central bank is going to get the dollar if they don't have it. Our reserve also as a country has been depleting over the period. So the situation is a very difficult one. We are hoping that, for me, that the IMF money will come in, or any of the multilateral agencies or development partners will look at our situation and decide that we want to support you with some foreign currency to shore up your reserve and also to be able to meet the demand that's out there. Otherwise, by the end of the year, if things continue the way it is, we are likely to hit about 11 by the end of the year. And of course, confidence is very low. So it's also enhancing speculations within the economy. People who don't even need a dollar are now rushing to buy the dollar as a store of value for them to be able to create money out of it. And I think that is not helping economy.
And you did talk about the IMF. The president has indicated that next week they're resuming talks with the international body. Let's see what becomes of that meeting if we're going to get a program anytime soon. I'm grateful for your time. That's Mark Bedu Abuaje, CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, joining us with his thoughts there. Now, scores of Ghanaian students studying abroad, especially in Europe, are struggling to survive as a result of the delay in the transfer of their stipends. The students say they are yet to receive a penny from government since January this year. Many of them, as a result, have had to secure minor jobs to fend for themselves. This, we understand, is beginning to take a toll on their academic work. Let's speak to President of the Student Association in Hungary, Gabriel Asante. He joins us via Zoom. Gabriel, thank you very much. So we understand that you are back into the country. Is it as a result of the hardships there, or you are on an academic mission?
Thank you very much, Ernest, for having me. So I'm back home for some my research work because I'm doing my PhD, so I'm here for some research work. The situation, as you rightly mentioned, is very true. The hardship that is going on among students in Hungary and other European countries that I know of is very, very dicey. Since the beginning of the year, which is January 2022 this year, students on government scholarship in Hungary, numbering about 170, have not received stipend from government. And if you remember very well, in March this year, there was something similar like that we even organized a press conference, because at that time, government was owing from last year, October. And after the press conference, some 3 months was released. After that, we have not really received anything from the government as I'm speaking with you. And so government is owing students 8 months arrears. And this is having a very serious challenges on students' academic performance. Because it means students have to commit more hours into doing menial jobs. And according to the bilateral agreement between the Hungarian government and the government of Ghana, students are not even supposed to work more than 24 hours a week. But students have to commit more hours into doing menial jobs to be able to cover for their accommodation and their feeding and other things. And so we are, by this, pleading with the government to, as a matter of urgency, come to our aid and ensure that the government release monies to pay or settle the stipend that is owed students.
Give us a fair idea of the numbers we're talking about, at least for Hungary, because I know there are other countries in Europe where we have Ghanaian students also stranded. But in Hungary, where you are the leader, how many of you there are in this situation?
Yeah, currently we have 169 active Ghanaian students who are on government scholarship in Hungary. This is comprises bachelor students and master students and PhD students. And so according to the contract that we have with the government of Ghana through the Scholarship Secretariat, bachelor students are supposed to receive $250 per month as stipend, and masters and PhD students are supposed to receive $400 per month as stipend, and this has not been coming. But as you rightly said, I'm here for my personal research work, but because of this situation, I have to most of the time spend more time going to the Scholarship Secretariat to make sure that we follow on the issue to know what is happening. And the Scholarship Secretariat has made it clear to us that they have done all their possible best to chase the higher authorities so that they can release money for them to pay us. But the release has not been coming. And if I talk of higher authorities, I'm talking about the Finance Ministry. And so as I can see from the Scholarship Secretariat, they have not gotten money from the Finance Ministry to be able to pay us. And this is what is causing this problem. And so we are pleading with the Finance Ministry, the Office of the President, to do something about this for us.
And just to be clear, we are talking about stipends, but also fees in some cases. But in Hungary, I understand that, you are not allowed to pay fees. The Hungarian government does that on behalf of the government of Ghana. So yours is just with stipends.
That is right. With the bilateral agreement between Hungarian government and government of Ghana, the Hungarian government settled the fees for Ghanaian scholars. But I know of other scholars in other countries like Germany and UK, because we have this global union. I know of that which the government of Ghana have to settle part of their tuition. And there is another problem, which I don't want to talk about this because That's outside my jurisdiction. But I'm talking specifically about Hungary and the stipend situation. The economies, if you compare the European economies like UK or Germany to a country like Hungary, it's a bit different. And so if you do the comparison that if students in Germany are able to survive or UK are able to survive, why can't you survive? That would be a very misleading comparison because the economy is very, very different. And what pays in Hungary, even finding a menial job, a student job in Hungary is very difficult for students to find compared to other European countries. And so if the stipends are not coming, it means students have nothing to do and they have to, and as I'm speaking with you now, some students are on the verge of losing their accommodation, which means they become hopeless. And it's a serious situation. They tend to, as the leaders, we sometimes help. But to what extent can we help as leaders? Because we ourselves are also stressed out. So it's getting critical, and we are going into the winter very soon, and we'll see how the situation will be if students have to sleep on the street because they don't have accommodation. So please, something should be done as early as possible.
Gabriel, thank you very much. And I must say that we did try to get to the Scholarship Secretariat. We did not get anyone to speak to us readily. Once we do, we'll bring you their side of the story. Now, former Chief of Defense Staff, General Nunu Mensah, says the current economic challenges facing the country may cause riots to break out if urgent steps are not taken to address them. It has been a week since two reputable credit rating agencies downgraded Ghana to junk status, compounding fears living conditions will worsen. General Nunu Mensah spoke to Raymond Aqua on Upfront on the JoyNews channel.
Me that we're angry. We will never find a way out of this crisis. The point I'm making is that we should stop sheepishly following international monetary institutions as if they are panacea for our problems. No, we want leadership. Look, simple things like growing. I would do some, where I live is all rocks. It was like a quarry site. I bought soil to plant beans and cucumbers and others. In my house here, I'm planting plantain. It was how I did. We should make an effort to grow Ghana out of this chaos. But we can't go around with pulling others in the IMF and World Bank and the United States. And they have got their own problems. France is burning. California is burning. Kentucky is being inundated by rivers, so don't follow them. And we have enough. There are enough people in this country, if they are properly led, we can get out of this chaos. That's what I'm making. We can't sit down there and go and take loans. When you take the loans, we don't even apply the loan in an area that will generate wealth to pay the loan and the interest. You know, we are doing things that are not benefiting the country. And what my biggest problem is, it's not me. I did survive. My days are numbered. But not even my children, but my grandchildren. They're all walking around like sheep without direction. Yet we are hungry. Can't we grow cassava and get bread out of cassava? It can be done. I've eaten cassava bread. But we are looking for wheat from Ukraine. And with the war going on, we are going to die. So I'm saying that, look, I'm not stupid. Ghanaians are not stupid. Ghanaians are very clever. Ryan Clark knocked down Ronnie Clayton in 1951 to win featherweight boxing championship. Edmund Nelson, D.K. Poison, Ahe. All these have shown that Ghanaians are not stupid, they are intelligent. We just simply need leadership to come on, follow me, and let's build Ghana. And put politics aside. If you don't do that, I can swear that, and you go on like this, if in August we are hungry, come January you will see real people dying on the street, mark it on the wall. So we should wake up and let our president and the ministers show leadership. If we are talking about buying Ghanaian goods, why don't you buy Ajua's Safo's father's cars, Kantanka, to the police and beef up Ghanaian production of cars? The former minister was saying, we don't support Ghanaian enterprise. But show by example. All the cars, I have about 3-4 cars here. The newest is 22 years old. I will never buy a new car, yet I built about 6-7 school blocks. I build them, wake up 3 o'clock, go to O'Reilly and dig and push wheelbarrow to demonstrate to the youth that Ghana can only be built by Ghanaians, not by the Chinese, by the Indians, by IMF, by World Bank, by ourselves. And President and the minister should show leadership. And we shall build Ghana to what it should be.
We sure would need some change of mind to work around this. And you said leadership is the biggest problem here. If you are speaking to the president directly, what will you tell the president about how to turn around things, about the implications of our current situation, and the effective things to do immediately from now to next year, as you talk about, to fix the problem? General Numensa. Yes, General.
A year ago, I just said, baby, you didn't hear me well. Look, when we are growing up, things that you see is amazing. And with my senior colleague, 89-year-old man, we wanted to see the president. We saw this coming. We met at the Air Force Officers' Mess and planned to see him. I saw Kwame him. You can ask him, Kwame, I want to see the president. He called a certain number, Ochedaku. We were in New York, General Assembly. See the president. I wouldn't talk to the president on your medium. I want to talk to him into his ears. President Mills was a loving president. He could be General Brat. Now, what's the Kuraba? He could be our young advisor, when you feature so of quality, what should I do? That's what he told me. Mr. President, that's where the Ufiasem came from. Maybe they wouldn't call people like me. It was my old friend. I campaigned with 98 when he was seeking political leadership of the MPP. But if today, when we are in a crisis, come on, call those that can help. Sit down, Jenna, sit down. What should you do? The country is sinking. We are on board the boat. The boat that sank in Tama. We are sinking. I dream about that. If the president won't call me, I wouldn't talk to the president on your medium. I would talk to him to his ears at the Flagstaff House. Now, Jubilee House. That's another problem. And we are talking about things that don't matter. Nkrumah came to meet Flagstaff House, where the Army General Pelly lived. He loved it. He built them a new place at Woman Ridge, Kalkudi Junction. MPP comes, they change the name. Obama comes, you change White House to Brown House. It doesn't happen. History must be maintained. Let's do important things that will help this country. And these things are not important. Because when I see young people, I came from a very poor background. And when I see poverty, I feel it in my body. I don't want to see poverty. Ghana should now not be where we are. Come on, if Rwanda is where they are, why shouldn't Ghana get to beyond where Rwanda is? So let's president and the ministers who are in charge of our country.
Now, dreams shattered, efforts squandered. These are but a few ways many were impacted by the pandemic, which saw the global economy crashing. COVID-19 brought with it widespread devastation, causing many businesses to collapse. But not all of them succumbed. Some saw opportunity to break out. In the following special report, JoyNews editor Seriam Ablade Souza puts the spotlight on Bafo Nketia Sapon, who through his delivery service moved to people when the world stopped moving.
In the Medina municipality of the Greater Accra region of Ghana, one of the riders of Irald delivery services picks up a small box of chocolate for delivery in Adentan. He has an estimated 5 minutes. This delivery business was born out of the COVID-19 pandemic by Bafo Nketia Sapon. Originally an event planner and owner of events par excellence, Bafo lost his business at the peak of the pandemic.
So these are some of the pictures of a national event we did. It was so nice and successful. So as other people came around to find out who did the decor. People were like, you. People were surprised at how could I do that. This is a wedding decor that we did at the University of Ghana. We hosted about 300 guests. My employees were like 15. This was a birthday party we did for a 6-year girl. So we chose the Frozen character. It was so nice. She was happy. It was something like a surprise for her.
He is just one of those whose daily bread was affected by the virus. Data from the Ghana Statistical Service indicates 42,000 people were laid off. 25% of Ghana's workforce had their salaries slashed. The pandemic also led to the reduction of working hours of 700,000 people. Being broke in the solitude of a lockdown triggered deep thoughts about how to survive. Bafo ventured into the delivery business.
During the COVID, because our job line was down, I decided to shift from one to another business. So I thought of going into the motor business, it's being a delivery business, because no matter what, people get food, buy drugs and other things, and you need someone to bring it to you.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Ghanaians have turned more towards delivery services.
I have people that I call privately who don't have apps, but I have their contacts and I do business with. It works for me, and the apps too work for me. But the one that is people, what makes it easier is you just pick up your phone and you call, and they are there.
Going out to get something becomes a stress, and as I am a student as well, I have to be in school due to some classes and some projects. So just going online to get what you want is very effective, it's very fast, and it's very helpful.
I'm a customer, my satisfaction is your priority, so you are supposed to make sure that whatever I am and whatever I want, it should be given to me. So I would personally want you to bring it to me than giving it to someone else to deliver it to me. Yes.
Bafo, who has taken advantage of this need and created a business, also employs some young men. One of them is Bismarck Labi.
Bismarck is one of the employees we started with when Herald Delivery Service came in mind. And he has been a very wonderful person, very hardworking and very humble. Clients always talk about him in his good aspect. I haven't had a report from any clients, and I think he does get little tips.
I was once an instrumentalist, and since there was COVID-19, since the COVID-19, there wasn't any like band playing and all stuff. So I decided to contact Bafo, so to buy me a bike for delivery. So he agreed on that and bought the bike for me.
Bismarck is using this opportunity as a stepping stone to launch his own business in the near future.
We are 4 riders in Herald's company. Kofi is one of the riders. So I think after the work and pay contract, we'll still do the delivery.
After a period of time, the bikes will become theirs as they pay me. This work and pay is like paying twice of the amount of how much we purchased the bike. So for like a year and a half, I think 19 months or so, the bike will become theirs.
This success comes at a price.
Police being arresting the bikers and accidents. A time came that we had to deliver a birthday cake to someone, to a client, and the rider had an accident. So we charged like 30 cedis. We had to go and pay 300 cedis for the cake. You can't tell the client that we had an accident, your cake is spoiled or something. You have no option than to pay. So those are some of the major challenges that we encounter. And some, even for instance, you could see bandage on my hand. I think last week I had to deliver something to someone and I had an accident that had affected my hand. So the challenges are many.
Bafo hopes his ability to diversify and create another business at the peak of the pandemic would continue to motivate people to think outside the box and remain hopeful.
This job has been very helpful to me. Event planners lost our job, and it has been my backbone. At least you get something to put on table, something to buy your fuel or anything, something. So this job, I've never regretted doing it.
The Inspector General of Police says his administration is working to reduce police response time to 10 minutes in a broader strategy to improve crime fighting across the country. Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare has been outlining a series of measures adapted to boost the image of the service and welfare of personnel on the changing face of policing in Ghana. Erastus Nsari-Donko has more from a KNUST lecture where the IGP spoke.
They are employees of yours. That's why we are called public servants.
The lecture, organized by the Faculty of Social Sciences KNUST, was held under the theme the changing face of policing in Ghana, expectations and the role of the university community.
We can attest to the fact that despite the challenges, the kind of innovation and partnership the IGP is bringing to the frontiers of policing in the country is great.
The IGP acknowledged an inherited negative public perception but indicated measures rolled out to improve the image of policing.
We own our services to you, and if you are not satisfied, you need to get on with it. So with all this, we decided also to assess ourselves from your perspective. We found that in the middle, we said we are still underperforming. We show zero partnership. We don't work with you. Also, there are issues where you see us as very unprofessional. You say we are corrupt. Thank you. We've never said that there are not a couple of people who are doing things in a corrupt way, tarnishing the image of the service. We've never said that. We are doing all what we can to handle it. But we will never accept the tag that we are the most corrupt institution in the country. It is unfounded. Because all those researches have challenged methodologies.
Dr. Dampare spoke of series of plans instituted to fight crime and a move to decrease police response time to 10 minutes.
We keep deepening the number of police officers we put out there. Now we have added the motorbikes bit to it, and very soon we are deploying almost about 2,000 motorbikes across the country. That our roads are going to be policed, the towns we see the motorbikes. And response time, we are looking at the average of less than 10 minutes. People will be there to deal with the matter for you.
The IGP called for public support for the police while assuring that personnel who perform professionally will receive the full backing of the service.
Each one of us at all the chain is appropriately empowered, such that as long as you do what is right and you do it professionally, we will have your back, and to the level that now there is a culture that everybody is arrestable, even including the IGP. So what it is that just do what is right, irrespective of your rank, and you have the full backing of the whole police administration, and nobody can intimidate you.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Kumasi.
You're watching News Desk with me, Ernest. We are taking a break. We'll be right back.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Managing Director of Passion Air, Samuel Atuhagan, has revealed that the airline is considering flying to Wa twice on Fridays and Sundays. The airline currently flies daily from Wa to Accra and vice versa. This follows an appeal made by the Upper West Regional Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh, when some officials of the airline paid a courtesy call on him. JoyNews' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam has more.
Accountable manager of Passion Air, Eddie Annan, accompanied by top-ranked managers of the airline, paying a courtesy call on the Upper West Regional Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh, expressed his satisfaction over the near 9 months of their operations on the Accra-Wa route. He, however, has some concerns on routing their operations through Tamale and Kumasi, a reason why he is in town to discuss with some business executives.
We want to see how we can help them boost up the loads from here to Accra, and also to ask them about coming from Kumasi to Wa and coming from Tamale to Wa. We started both, but it didn't look too well. If you're going with 5 passengers, 7 passengers, 9 passengers, it's not even paying for the fuel. But they keep asking, so probably dialoguing with them, we might find some way around it to resume that flight, those flights again.
Dr. Hafiz bin Saleh, on his part, appealed to the management of the airline to consider expanding their operations by flying twice on Fridays and Sundays.
We have come to save us from a lot of trouble. traveling time from Wa to Accra has been reduced. You have to go to Accra and you have to spend about 13 to 14 hours. But now, just an hour and a half, you are in Accra.
An appeal that the managing director of Passion Airline, Samuel Atuhegan, said they will quickly consider.
We didn't expect it to, should I say, shoot up so fast.
What do you want to do to expand the market?
We intend to look into flying twice a day now. Based on the discussion with the minister, we are going to look into flying at least on Fridays and Sundays twice a day, and then look into other days in the week where we can increase the number of flights.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Now, private businesses in the Ashanti region have received skills training to offer better and enhanced services to their customers. Dubbed the Ashanti Business Clinic and Exhibition, businesses were offered a platform for connectivity, marketing, and growth. The disruptions in the business environment following the Russia-Ukraine war and COVID-19 pandemic necessitated the business clinic to ensure the recovery and build future resilience of businesses. Here's more.
The private sector is seen as the engine of growth to drive the country towards consolidating its middle-income status. However, the shock caused by COVID-19 and the Russian-Ukraine conflict have had considerable impact on Ghanaian businesses. Executive Secretary of the Ashanti Business Owners Association, Charles Kusi Apiakubi, says the disrupted economic environment necessitated the maiden edition of the Ashanti Business Clinic and Exhibition.
We thought we could create a platform to give businesses free consulting, free information on best practices on how they can grow their businesses. We know the dynamics in the environment now, so there's a need to equip businesses with the right information, the right tool to make them much more resilient to the system so that they can survive.
During and after the lockdown, a number of companies adjusted their business models. This included layoffs and cuts in wages. Other businesses have had challenges accessing finance. Some financial institutions have, however, assured their constant support to affected small and medium-scale enterprises. Jerry Baidu is sales manager for SME commercial banking at FBN Bank Ghana.
Challenges, as we know, in the SME space when it comes to financial support. So what we believe is that every institution needs that financial backbone to enable growth. What we do is that if you run with us or operate with us for about 6 months, we can look at your turnover and based on that advise some level of overdraft for you to support the growth of the business.
To increase the efficiency of local farmers, agricultural company Crop Doctors plans to modernize farmers' agricultural activities. They are positive that the lives of people in rural communities will improve.
We are here to modernize Ghanaians' agriculture to create rural prosperity. So we are here with various implements for farming, and we are targeting the middlemen, so the farmers who doesn't have much capital to afford the bigger machineries.
Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
All right, that's business. There's more coming up after this break. Do stay tuned.
All right, so let's find out what's happening in sports, and Lawrence is here to update us. Hello, Lawrence. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Nice kinte there. I mean, we went to the Commonwealth Games. I think the performance was quite impressive. Yeah. Even though we could have done better. The last minute disqualification for the 4x1 for me is Charlie. It's so painful.
It was a typical issue. But then putting it into context, that performance at the Birmingham 2022 Games was Ghana's best since the 1998 edition in Malaysia.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was. We had Deborah Aqua winning bronze. Joseph Polamo also won bronze. 3 medalists from the sporting division. Joseph Kome, Umar Wahid, and then Abraham Mensah. guess what? This afternoon they will be on JoyNews to talk about their success in Birmingham, what went on during their preparations at the tournament. You know, it's not as quite lively when we are seeing their story for them. In the heat of the moment, when they talk about their personal experiences, they give more details than what you as a journalist will put out there. Yeah. So they will be on JoyNews between 2 and then 3 to talk about what went on during their stay in Birmingham, what brought out the best in them during the games, and then what also led to Ghana performing, putting out its best performance at the Commonwealth Games since 1998. Okay. I'm looking forward to someone like Deborah, because for her, she received her visa to the games just 48 hours to her event. Got to Birmingham, did her preparation in less than 24 hours. She finished as top in her qualifying round for the long jump. And then she ended up winning the bronze medal for Ghana, which was quite impressive. It was
so all those backstories will be on the show, which is why we need to watch this show. Yeah. But I mean, beyond the Commonwealth, we have Qatar also staring us in the face. What should we expect?
Impressively, today marks 100. Like, we are just 100 days away from the World Cup, and just as Joy Sports does always, we'll be having a show to preview the World Cup. It's starting on Saturday, where the program will start at 7:30 to 9 on all Joy platforms. We talk about the build-up to the World Cup, the Black Star Squad, the stadium, the States of the African Nations that will be in Qatar as well. So it's one of the programs that you definitely don't have to miss.
Lawrence, thank you very much. So you definitely want to stay with us here on the JoyNews channel. That's it for News Desk. We have more programming for you. Just want to stay with us. But in the meantime, before midday, you can log on to myjoyonline.com where you have more stories. I'm Ernest. Manu. Stay with us.